Hello everyone and welcome back to Platform 1. It's myself, Jack, and Dave.
Hello.
Here once again for episode 28. We're going to be here for the next hour or so, taking a look at some of the latest announcements, releases and updates, and everything in between from across the hobby today. And I'm glad to be back after a little bit of a break last week.
It's good to have you back and to be sat on this side of the table for once as well. So I've really enjoyed having John on the show last week. Thanks for everyone who made him feel so welcome here on Platform 1 as well. As you've mentioned, we're going to be here for about an hour today covering, well, pretty much something for everyone today, really. We've got O, we've got double O, we've got new releases, we've got N-Gage in there as well. Whatever modeler you are, if there's something on the UK scene for you at the moment, there really is something on today's Platform 1.
That's so it. There's already
action-packed.
Already a huge selection you can see here on the table in front of us, and that's not all, is it? We've got plenty of other fun topics to show you, and we've already got a lot of people tuning in the chat here already, so it's great to see you guys here already. We've got Ethan Amstutz says, good morning, everyone. Afternoon now, almost, isn't it? Mk3, can't wait to see some good models. As you can see, we've got plenty of good models to show you today. Ruben Master Builder says, hello, everyone. Hattons first time watching live, so thanks very much for joining us on your first ever show. And do make sure you're subscribed as well so you don't miss any future episodes. And of course, we have lots of other great videos coming out in the week as well. We've got Jordan Marshall says, hello, guys. 700 Shunter back in again. Good day from Australia. We've got James Akers says, afternoon all. Hope you're better after last Friday, Jack. I am raring to go now. I am much better. Richard Svidersky, hi all. We've got Bluegrass Railfan, morning. Got 2 orders from Hattons on the way. Do let us know. Let us know what you've bought. We'd love to know. Get that down in the comments and we'll read that out. We've got Train Guy 6284 says good day as well. So thanks very much everyone for tuning in. And as we've got a few new guys here today as well, hope you enjoyed the show and let us know what you think as well.
Exactly. So let's get started. Now, one of the first pretty much all new releases for 2020 that's come through is Heljan's re-release, if you can call it that, of the Heljan Hymek. Now, I use the term re-release loosely because this really is, it's a fully upgraded model from the ground up.
It's a revolution, isn't it, really? It's been completely re-engineered, this one, so we've got much improved detailing on there. It's got a completely new drivetrain, this, hasn't it, as well? Right up to date with the rest of Heljan's really strong diesel O-gauge fleet there as well.
And it complements a huge amount of locomotives that are already out there as well. You've got the Western locomotives, the warships, a huge range of O-gauge diesels that this will run with. And as you can see on the screen here now, Heljan's got a real high standard for these diesels that they bring through in O-gauge. You can see there are a lot of separately etched parts, the real finesse on the printing on the builder's plates and the head code boxes there, the bogie spring details and more besides, as you can see on the screen. It just oozes quality.
That's it. And it's not just the cosmetics with this either. It's a really good performer as well. As Dave mentioned, you've got that high detail in there, inside and out, in the cab as well, but it's got working roof fans in there. You've got dual 5-pole motors, as you come to expect from a Heljan model now, so incredible pulling power. It's not going to matter what you put on the back of this, it's going to be able to haul it. You've got your directional LEDs in there as well, and full digital capability as well, so you can get it running on your DCC layout too.
And as you can see on our test track here, it managed to get around second radius curves in O-gauge, so really good, even if you've got a smaller layout as well. And as I'm sure some of you are familiar with, these are really iconic locos in real life as well. Any of these Western hydraulics had a real cult following in the 1960s and pretty much ever since, really. There was actually 101 of these built between 1961 and 1964 at Bay of Peacock in Manchester, and they ran on the Western region, which wanted the lightweight hydraulic locomotives similar to what ran in Germany. And they were used, started off in Bristol, but really spread their wings after that.
That's it. It was an unusual design, really, wasn't it? There wasn't many diesel hydraulic locomotives in the UK. There were some other designs that were experimented with. But as Dave touched on, the Western region really did want those lighter hydraulic locomotives. It was a necessity, really, for the type of lines that they were using them on. But they did end up actually working on express services out of London in the end, didn't they? Which far superseded the original aim for the locomotives.
They packed a heck of a lot of punch for the size.
Absolutely.
Really. And coming back to the model, so does the model, really.
Definitely.
They've managed to cram in 2 huge 5-pole motors there, one on each bogie, which gives it an incredible haulage capacity. You can haul easily what the locomotives hauled in real life, if not more besides as well. As Jack touched on before, there's been a full upgrade to the locos as well. You've got your LEDs in there, full detailing too. You can also wire them up for digital capability as well. They've got space for a sound speaker in the tanks, but also the motherboard in there as well. It makes it really easy to wire in a decoder. And there's 4 versions available as well, covering a couple of different varieties of green too.
That's it. I believe there's 3 different BR green models, and these all have different yellow end styles. So you've got the nice small yellow panels as we see here. There is a full yellow end version, and I believe it's a full green end on
it is
the
indeed,
other one,
as they were built.
So you've got the full lifespan, and of course the BR blue model with the yellow ends too, which it just snuck in towards the end of its life, didn't it, the BR blue?
It did indeed. Now, it's the only little bit of bad news about these locos really, is that they were quite non-standard with the hydraulic transmission, etc. So they were withdrawn quite early in BR's diesel life in 1975. But the good news is 4 of them still survive on various preserved railways across the UK. If you've ever been to the East Lancashire Railway or the West Somerset Railway, you've most likely seen one of these Hymek locomotives out there pulling trains still, as they should be doing into the 21st century. So, as we say regularly here on Platform 1, you can model them in a certain era, but there's always preservation, there's always museums, there's always an excuse to get one of these fantastic Hymeks onto your layout.
And the beauty of these is, as you touched on, yeah, they did have that early withdrawal there, but the amount that they did in their original lifespan of what they were intended to do was incredible. As we say, they were initially brought in for the secondary services out of Bristol, but then were used on everything up to the top line express services there as well. So they really did get around on the Western Region network, and they were really just a victim of standardization, which was a necessity of the time, really. But, you know, as you say, really great second life there in preservation as well. So they can be seen pretty much across the country now.
strong, reliable workhorses, whether we're talking about the real-life locomotives or the Heljan model.
That's
really, both of them solid, dependable, great for your layout if you've got Westerns, warships, all those sort of diesels already. This finishes that final little place in your Western hydraulic collection.
That's it. And if you want to see a little bit more about these, you can head to the link in the description right now, which has got more details about the models on there, a little bit more about the prototypes too. And all 4 of them are available now for £421 each, so great price there coming through for a fully re-engineered model here, as we can't stress that enough really, that this is, you know, very popular release from Heljan many years ago, but this has been completely revamped, and it's right up there to the same standard as all of their other modern O-gauge diesel locomotives that they've brought through as well.
I'd love to call it version 2, but it's even more than that.
Yeah.
They really have started again, really gone for it, and you can just tell the difference.
Rebirth of the Hymek, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Well, the comments are going absolutely crazy for these, so we're going to have to take a look at this. We've got Ruben Master Builder says, I love the Hymeks, in all caps there, so you can tell. Absolutely
got a
in love
big
with
fan
these,
there.
which, I mean, how can you not? It's just totally distinctive, totally unique locomotives, the Hymeks. We've got Robot Monkey says, so much detail. Totally agree. It's like lovely fine etching on these grills here on the top. Fantastic separately fitted handrails and other details here.
One of the main things I like about these is with them having the full cab windows at the front as well, quite larger than a lot of other diesels. You've got to have some great cab detailing in there.
Totally.
And again, we've got some really high quality photos on our website if you click the link in the description for a closer look, but you can see all that cab detail in there as well. It looks like you could climb in and drive it almost. So you've really got to have that with cab windows that big, and Heljan don't disappoint.
That's the beauty of O-gauge there as well, isn't it? It makes it feel a bit more like the real thing.
Absolutely.
We've got Ruben Masterboer again says, wow, looks like it has got so much detail there again. Mk3 says, O-gauge Hymek, want to get. Arno Mulder says, awesome, the Hymek locos. 700 Shunter says, tempted with the Hymek Clayton, Crompton and the Class 03 to make an O-gauge diesel layout. Also tempted to buy the O-gauge diesels and repaint them into an SECR livery. So bit of a what-if scenario there if the SECR had continued.
But also a great opportunity to mention there at first, just showing the breadth of O-gauge diesels coming through at the moment. These are by no means the only locomotives we have. We have a lot of the major classes of locos, Class 37s, Class 47s, Westerns, warships, Hymeks. Pretty much every major diesel you can think of in O-gauge is available now. So if the Hymek's not quite for you, you want something a little bit of a different era, still click that link in the description because there's far more besides.
Oh yeah, it really has exploded, the O-gauge diesel market now, and excuse me, there's plenty more to come in the future too, with lots more on the horizon. So
there is indeed.
If you want something, it's probably going to be there. Ruben Master Builder asks, does the Hymek have directional lights? And it certainly does. Yes. LEDs on both ends, isn't it?
You've got it absolutely spot on there, Jack. We have the head code panel lighting up white to illuminate the way, and also the tail lights lighting up red as well on the rear. So as per the real locos, you've got full forwards and backwards lighting there as well.
Nice and prototypical there. We've got Ian B says, a nicely individual looking loco. The Hymek suits BR green and the white window frames really work as well. Yeah, it sets it off nicely, that, doesn't it? Just nice. I always like a bit of a split window edging on a loco, so it's great to see that.
I think that was the designer's preferred livery for them as well, so to have them in that style. But still a distinctive BR blue as well. Both have got the character and both have got the favourites.
That's it, and they've both got their place as well. We've got James Akers says, good little locos the Hymeks are, if you can call low gauge little, and he wish he model though, otherwise he'd be getting one right now. Never too late to start.
And they are available in N-gauge and 00 as well. If you are a bit of a Hymek fan in another scale, check out the website. There's Hymeks there for you.
That's it. We've got Bluegrass Railfan says, thought about buying an N scale 35 when he was browsing the other day.
There you go. as mentioned, with the Dapol model in N-gauge and the Heljan model in 00 and O as well.
You preempted that one, Dave. We've got John Fenny says, is it easy to get the body off to access to fit a driver?
It is indeed. All you do is there's a couple of screws underneath, which unfortunately won't come up on the camera too well, but unscrew those, body comes away, really easy. When you get yours, there's a full instruction manual on how to take the body off, to set the DCC, get in the cab to do the driver, etc, etc. But if you need a little bit more advice, do get in touch with us and we'll help you out.
Yeah, always a good idea. We've got Mk3 again, says, I like the small yellow panels the most as it gives the best of both worlds. Worn in panels, but you've still got a bit of green on the front. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's a good nice way of putting it, that. Yeah, I quite like how
best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Ethan Amstutz again here as well, and he says, on the note of BR standardization, BR ordered these hydraulics only to throw them away too soon. Not just these, but other classes as well. So I suppose it was a case of they were experimenting with a lot of different designs in that period and a lot of different transmission and engine types, and a lot of the different regions, I wouldn't say they were a law into themselves, but a lot of the regions had, you know, different directions that they wanted to go in. And because of the fact that they were all completely diverging into different types of motive power, BR had to step in, really, didn't they, and say, right, we need standardization here so that we can make everything work with each other.
There's a lot of training to drive the different types of locomotives, etc. The Western region really looked towards Germany for its inspiration, hence the hydraulic locos that we see here. Designs similar to these were running in Germany right up until the early 2000s as well. So
it does have that look about it as well, doesn't it?
You see that heritage carrying through there.
Right, so fantastic loco there with the Heljan Hymek. Of course, you can check these out on our website now, and you can order them too for £421 each. So where do you want to go next?
I'm going to let you decide. You had a week off, I'll let you have a go.
I'll sit in the captain's chair again. Right. Okay, we've got a bit of an update on our Hattons Originals Plasser 12-ton GPC crane today. You might have seen on our website, in a bit of a first for the industry, we've actually offered the full CAD file. This is for the first time, really. You can download that from our website, and we've got a link to a nice, easy, free CAD viewing piece of software as well. And what we're looking for is for you guys to get fully involved with this project, really. And you can download that CAD file, take a look, get really right in there, get the ultimate close look. It really is, because you can take a look at every aspect of it then. You're not just looking at a few static photographs. You can move the model and take a look at it however you wish. And what we are looking for is all of your feedback and just seeing what you think of the project so far, if there are any corrections to be made. And of course, this is quite an early CAD. It's quite early in the development stage there, and there are some alterations to be made, but we are really interested to see what you guys think at this stage.
With these cranes having ran from the late 1970s right through to the current day, there's quite a few of them on preserve railways. We know that a lot of you will have seen these firsthand, climbed over them, worked on them, etc, etc. And when Jack says the full CAD is available, he's not mincing his words there. The full CAD is available. You can download this, twist it, turn it, view it from every single angle you want to make sure we're getting the most accurate model possible on this. And this is the time to really make mention too. We can still change aspects of the model at this time. We feel that we've really done it justice, but there's nothing like getting experts such as you to really look over this too. So this is your chance. Really do take a look at that link in the description, download the software, download the CAD file as well, really pore over it and see if you've anything we could do better, or even if you just really like how it looks so far, do let us know as well. And we will amend the model where possible to make it an absolutely perfect model. And the thing with these cranes as well is we've already had an immense amount of feedback on them, some real popular opinion on them too. lots of different colour schemes, people who've worked on them, etc. So we're thankful for everything that you've said so far, and this really gives you the chance to say even more.
Absolutely, that's it. One thing that we're really keen to do with a lot of our projects really is to get that community involvement there, because at the end of the day, we are making these models for you.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that these are 100% perfect. It's exactly what the community wants. So what better way than to involve you in that process and get your feedback at early stages to make sure that it is moving along in the right direction. Of course, with our Hattons Originals, Genesis Coaches, and with some of our other projects as well, we have tried to include along the way there as well. And a lot of people have asked that they are very interested to see how it all comes together really, and get a deeper look at when it's at the CAD stage, when it's at the prototype stage as well. What goes into that, and really understand the development process for a product like this. So I think for a lot of you guys, it might just be something really interesting to take a closer look. We've had a few people on social media already saying that they use CAD in their day jobs as well, so it's just really interesting to take a look at that from another industry as well. So yeah, we're just really interested to hear what your thoughts are on it. So if you head to that link in the description, you can download the full CAD file. I believe it's .easm format, I think, but it is all detailed on the site there for you. We've got some software from an external company which you can download for free too, but you're welcome to use whatever software you like as well. And of course, we're accepting feedback through our website, via email, on social media, here on Platform 1 if you like as well. And we will take it all into consideration, and our development team will be working with that as well.
I believe as well there's versions of the software that are available for tablets and mobile phones as well. There's more details on that on the website too, so if you haven't got a PC to hand, you're watching us on a tablet or something similar, you can still take a closer look. And if you're not quite so familiar with this project so far, there is more information on our website, but these are a 00 gauge model which is due in about this time next year, with 10 variations already announced covering the lifespan of these cranes from the late 1970s onwards. They were built to replace a lot of the steam or diesel powered cranes which were getting pretty old by that point, really, from the steam era, and even further back, really, back into the grouping and pre-grouping eras. So as you can see from the CADs, we're promising a lot of really high detail on the liveries we've shown on our website as well. The colour layouts are available to see, as well as the dates when the cranes operated as well. So really great for any of you who've got infrastructure layouts, maintenance trains on there as well, engineers' duties to complement a wide range of 00 diesels out there as well.
These are going to cover the full lifespan of these cranes as well. We've got for models covering their introduction from 1979 right up to the present day, so there's liveries to cover all the eras there. And we've got 3 different variations as well for the jib support, which is where the cradle for the jib mechanism on there. So there's 3 different types. I believe the CAD that we have shown is just of one of those types, but in the future we will be able to show, as it is just an early CAD, we will be able to show the those other variations in the future as well. But we are set to have a very high spec detail on these models, and of course, as you'd expect, the intricacy of delivery is going to be absolutely fantastic as well. But if you would like to just go ahead and pre-order one as well, you can do that right now. There's a link in the description to do just that, and each one is available for just £69 to pre-order. And of course, with our pre-orders, we don't take payments straight away. It's only when the models come into stock, so you won't have to worry about that until 2021 when they're released.
And we've already had some fantastic feedback from this as well when we released it early in the week, and we look forward to hearing what you guys have got to say as well.
Absolutely, and we've already got people saying a few things in the comments. So we've got Ruben Master Builder says, love a good crane. Upwell and Onwards says, such a sweet CAD design. So already a great comment there. Clive Cobold says he's got one of the cranes on order. Let us know which one you've gone for there. We'd love to know what sort of layout you've got. Ethan Amstutz says, liking the crane guys, tempted by the Balfour livery, so one of the more up-to-date liveries.
More recent liveries there, yeah.
Medway Peninsula Model Railway says, I've got my pre-order in for the Balfour BT version, so another fan of the modern one there. Ruben Master Builder asks, how much is it? So these are £69 to pre-order now.
Yeah.
And then we've got SLD51 says, really like the Plasser crane. And How Conjunction says, won't people potentially use a 3D file to print it themselves? Potentially, but it's not really at a stage where it could be printed from, I believe. So,
yeah, it's something that really can't be done with the files at the moment, where it's got to be stripped down and printed in its individual parts, plus the quality of the finish there as well, and delivery applications. So use the CAD to have a bit of a look over. As we've said, make your comments. If there's anything we could change on it, please do let us know. We've already had some great feedback and we'll be keeping you up to date as the project progresses as well.
That's it. And then we got Ben Davis says Crane looks amazing and he hopes to get 2 of them as well. So I'm sure you'll enjoy those once they release next year.
And thank you as well for everyone who's passed on the comments so far and already had a look over the CAD. Really appreciate it.
That's it, and we appreciate any further comments that come in over time as well. Right, so we've had O, we've had a bit of double O. Got to do a bit of N now.
We've got to do a bit of N now, yeah. And this actually is something that really snuck up by surprise almost this week.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere, didn't it?
It did come out of nowhere, but it's really welcome to see. This is the prototype and some of the artwork for Dapol's forthcoming Mark III sleeper coaches. Now, they've produced the normal Mark IIIs for quite a few years now. We've had the Loco Hold version, we've had the HST version that runs between the power cars as well. This finishes the story. This really is the last bit of the Mark III tail before they got converted with the power doors. And these are due in towards the late summer, actually.
I believe so, yeah, Q3 about, isn't it?
Coming through.
Yeah, so a little bit of history about the sleeper coaches. Obviously, the Mark IIIs were produced initially, obviously working with the high-speed train units with the Class 43s, and also the Ware Loco Hold versions produced as well with the buffers, which is one of the easy ways to differentiate between them. BR commissioned 208 sleeper coaches to be built, and these were done between 1982 and 1984. Unfortunately, there were a few cost overruns with them, which meant that they never really saw their full potential, as by the time that they were done, a lot of the services had actually been cut. But as you can see, they did actually see use, and some are still in use pretty much today, with some starting to be withdrawn over the past year or so. As you can see, still in use there with the Great Western Railway on the Night Riviera services, and of course they were used up until recently with Caledonian Sleeper on the London to Scotland routes overnight, which are now being replaced by the Mark V coaches, but they have seen a few decades of use now, and with quite a few different operators too. Now, we haven't got full details on this project just yet, so you can sign up for updates on our website, and as soon as we get anything more from Dapol, we'll be able to send that right to you. But we've got, as you can see there was a few very early artwork samples there to take a look at, which gives an indication as to some of the liveries that we might see from the project.
Dapol haven't provided exact running numbers or prices for these vehicles yet, but as we just saw, we're expecting BR Blue Grey from the 1980s, the Intercity Swallow livery into the 1990s, bang up to date with Great Western Railway and Jarvis Red as well, which was actually used on some maintenance trains in the early 2000s.
Bit of an unusual one though,
and these coaches really did get quite far and wide. As Jack said, they didn't really ever hit the full potential, unfortunately, and they are being replaced now with Mark V coaches and other designs as well. But they still ran the whole length of England, right down to Penzance on the Night Riviera and straight up to Scotland, and quite far up there as well, Inverness and Fort William, etc. on the Caledonian Sleeper as well. So some great opportunities to get these onto N-gauge layouts, whether you're having them heading down the West Coast main line towards Scotland or London, a small Scottish terminus with a couple of sleepers in, right down to the west coast of England with maybe a Class 57 or a Class 47 on the Night Riviera service as well. Some really great opportunities to get these onto layouts.
That's it, and as you've said there, the beauty of these is because they were running such long national services overnight and very few stops really, there's an opportunity for so many layouts to run one of these. If your layout's set somewhere vaguely along the West Coast main line, vaguely into Scotland somewhere, anywhere in the southwest, you can feasibly put one of these on your layout, because you could easily argue whether it's passing through your station scene. As Dave said, you could have it in a yard or a couple just stabled up ready to be put back onto the end of the train again or something like that. There really is a lot of options with these. So it's fantastic to see this completing the Mark III opportunities in N-gauge.
It is indeed, and as we saw from the samples there as well, these come with NEM couplings. They've got the really fine livery application we should expect from them as well. And two little bits of good news for N-gauge modelers too. These come light bar ready as well. Now, the Dapol light bar hasn't been available for quite a few months now, but this morning they did actually announce that that was back available to order, and it is on our website as well. So,
bit of breaking news there.
A little bit of breaking news there actually. So they're actually doing 3 versions this time as well, with a cool white, a warm white, and a yellow light as well, depending on what area you want. So If you've been waiting a little bit for your Dapol light bars, or if you want to put them in your forthcoming sleepers, now's the time to get them ordered. So check out our website for those.
Fantastic that they're offering a few different versions now as well, sort of properly accurate for the era that you're modelling as well. So do check those out if you like them. But coming back to the main Mark III models, what we can expect as well, based on the previous Mark IIIs that we have, is that they are really fantastic, really nicely detailed models there. Of course, when you've got the lighting inside as well, it really sets them off to a T. Of course, proper couplings on there and a really good chassis too, so there's really nice running quality there. We'll take another quick look at the early samples that we've got here as well. So as you can see, it is a prototype stage now, so we can expect to see painted samples at some point in the next few months as well, I would imagine, with the release slated for Q3 of this year. And of course, we'll get some more updates on the product codes and the different liveries that we'll expect as well soon, hopefully.
Yeah, so as we were saying before as well, with them having so many different locos they can run with, one good option about the Dapol Mark III, both the standard models and the sleeper that you see here, is they really do work well in rakes as well, with these operating of rakes up to 16 coaches on some of the sleeper services. That presents absolutely no issues with binding on curves, running through set track points, with just one loco on them, etc, etc. So you'll find that absolutely fantastic runners, really good metal wheels in there as well, so you can build up a full rake of these. And we're expecting them to come in at a really good price. We haven't had that quite confirmed yet, but Dapol's are usually really good for price on the coaches.
Especially based on the previous Mark IIIs as well.
Especially based on those. So make sure to click that link in the description, sign up for more information. As soon as we get more confirmed, we will send you an email and of course feature it here on Platform 1, put it on our social media as well. We will let you know as soon as we do.
Absolutely. I'm sure it won't be too long before we see more details on these as well, because they've released such a nice juicy update for us here as well, so I'm sure there'll be more to come in the next few months. Right, we've got lots of comments here for these as well. You're loving the stuff today. We've got Clive Cobbold says, the Mark III Sleeper coaches look great. I'd like to see a new tooling of those in 00 gauge as well.
A few people have asked about a 00 coach, as Hornby had one available a couple of years ago now, so there's potential for us to see some of the new liveries on that, such as the Great Western Railway or the Caledonian Sleeper, but who knows, we might see a brand new model in the future as well.
That's it, keep an eye out. Ruben Master Builder says, I have so many Mark III coaches, don't think they have any sleepers though, so a great opportunity for you to get some onto your layout there. Blue Gosh Rail fan says, he's got a feeling I'm going to be spending some money on these and the new Dapol HST sets as well. So that's another little bit of breaking news there.
It is indeed. So we've had 3 new sets announced there as well. So again, they're available on our website right now. And I imagine we'll be taking a closer look at that announcement next week on Platform 1 as well. But to give you a little bit of a sneak preview, they've announced 2 Great Western packs and a Network Rail pack as well.
That's it. So you can check those on the website right now, but we'll be covering those a little bit next week as well. SLD51 says, may have to get some Mark IIIs. Ben Davis says, thinks the Mark III looks best in GWR green. Again, there's one of those liveries that sets it off. It's got that quality feel to it, hasn't it? Ethan Amstutz says, might have to get a sleeper, but in 00 gauge. Ruben Master Builder says, does it have interior lighting? So, as we mentioned earlier, it is light bar ready, and Dapol will be producing some new light bars, which you can pre-order on the website right now too. Ben McDaniel says, might have to order the BR and the GWR green one, they look good. Clive Cobbold says, I remember the Mark III Sleeper on the Stranraer to London Euston services in the 1980s.
Some really good opportunities to pair them up with BR Blue diesels and electrics, intercity liveried locomotives too. Some really eye-catching colour schemes that a lot of you will be familiar with there as well. You can pair perfectly with one of these sleepers.
That's it, and then of course right up to the modern day you can have them with 92s or 90s, 87s, 73s, all kinds.
Some really great opportunities.
And then we've got McMetro says, goes along well with the new Engage GWR HST Castle sets Dapol are producing as well. So as we say, you can check out those on the website now as well. But yeah, check out the full details as we have so far for the Mark III Sleepers using the link in the description, and sign up for updates and we'll give you more on those as soon as we can. That's really it. Now, one of the things we covered last week that was really popular was we had so many new Hornby releases. We had a huge amount of them, pretty much something for everyone if you're a 00 modeler. And we've had such a good reaction to it, and we thought we'd give you a bit of a closer look at some of the ones we didn't quite cover in as much detail as the others. And one of those to really start with is the 2 new Terriers here. Now,
This brings for the first time the Isle of Wight bunker variation into play as well on the SR olive green version. But you can't ignore that London and Brighton South Coast Railway model as well, can you?
It really has a cult following the improved engine green colour scheme, doesn't it? It's totally unique. There's very few other companies and other locomotives that featured that colour scheme. So the Terrier really is one of the most eye-catching locomotives that carried it, and you can't miss it really, can you? And that was a model that absolutely flew off the shelf for that reason. It's been incredibly popular, and it's great to see this one back in the range, and with a different name this time as well. We've got Leadenhall here, which is fantastic, so you got a bit of variation if you've already got one. And
that improved engine green is a bit of an unusual name for a livery. As you can see there on the camera, it's more of a ochre yellow colour really coming across your screen now. And there's a couple of rumours as to why it was named such. It's never been fully confirmed. One of them is that Stroudley, the superintendent of the London Brighton South Coast Railway, was colourblind. The second was that he said it was an improvement on the original engine green that was carried by the locomotive, so an improved engine green. But I don't think we'll ever know the true answer. What we do know is that livery really is stunning on these locomotives, especially with the embellishments there. You've got the full name. Rather than a nameplate, it's actually painted on the side of the locomotive. You've got the running number there as well, and the builder's plate. A lot of details, as you can see. And you can't ignore the Southern Green version either, with the nameplate on there too, the Isle of Wight numbering system there too, the larger bunker. Two really distinct but great models from completely different points in the Terrier history. Absolutely, and as you stated, the SR Green one does have that new tooling variation for the Isle of Wight bunker as well. You might have seen from the video there is noticeably larger there, and it was to work better on the Isle of Wight network where there wasn't as much, where they needed a little bit extra coal capacity in there as well. So if you're not too familiar on the Terriers, there was 50 built at Brighton Works for the LBSCR. They were called Terriers due to the distinctive exhaust note that they created as well. And I think they had a few other nicknames as well, like Rooters and Hailing Billies as well, due to the Hailing Billy line. And they started off on passenger services out of London, but then of course when they got displaced by larger locomotives, and during that period of very rapid advancement in the railway industry, they eventually moved on to shunting duties and onto shorter passenger work as well. So quite a lot of opportunities for these to run on a lot of layouts. But these go right back to 1872. It's incredible, it's really, almost 150, if not 150 years for the Terriers now, really. And they lasted until 1963 in British Rail service. They were the oldest steam locomotives in use when they were withdrawn as well, so almost 100 years of continuous use. There's 10 of them still in preservation as well. A testament to that design, a lot of them really running around. There's a few on the Isle of Wight, various others across southern England. You may have seen them at the Bluebell Railway or the Kent and East Sussex. And they're still doing what they were built to do, hauling those small passenger trains along the network, doing a bit of shunting, maybe doing a bit of other duties as well there, which really was what the Terrier was built and designed for. Perfect to work with, say, smaller coaches as well, such as our forthcoming Genesis coaches, actually. Absolutely. But you did see them with bogie vehicles as well in preservation. You can see them with Mark I coaches, freight duties, you name it. So many distinctive colour schemes from so many distinctive operators, all the way through pre-grouping into BR, into the Southern Railway. There's limitless appeal of these Terriers. As you say, as you were talking about, with such an incredible lifespan there, they hold pretty much anything and everything. They started off with, as we said, our Genesis 4- and 6-wheel coaches, and there's some frankly beautiful photographs online if you take a look of Terriers hauling those coaches in preservation as well. So there's lots of opportunities with that era of coach. But moving on, they obviously haul bird cages and other SR coaches into BR use. They still would have been hauling a few coaches here and there. I believe single coach passenger work on various branch lines there as well, and even a bit of freight work in there with a bit of shunting, and obviously as station pilots as well. So it's incredible the variety of options you can have for a Terrier. To put it this way, if you're modelling anywhere in the south of England between 1870 and the current day, you really can't not have a Terrier on your layout. They have been everywhere. They have done everything. they have been in every colour. They really are a perennial loco almost, really.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Hornby's model is fantastic quality to kind of give it that importance as well. As you saw in the close-up video there and on the desk in front of us, they're absolutely crammed with detail. You've got a 6-pin decoder socket in there for your digital users as well. They've got a 5-pole motor in there too. You've got a 3-pole motor in there. You've got a die-cast chassis giving them great haulage capacity, NEM couplings, different variations, as we said, regarding the tenders, but also between the original A1 and the rebuilt A1X locomotives. So Hornby could produce any locomotive from the class if they wanted, and they've given it a good go already.
They have. There's been absolutely loads of these coming out already, and they tend to just fly off the shelves. So if you do want to get one, it's the time to do so is now. But of course, there are further variations due in the future as well, so do keep an eye out as they just continue to come out, really, at the moment. And the two that you can see now, you can get those on our website for £81 each as well. So it's a fantastic price for such a highly detailed locomotive. Check out that link in the description. Right, absolutely tons of comments for this as well, of course, because the Terrier is beloved by so many.
We've got a fan favourite, I think.
Absolutely. We've got Ruben Master Builder says, love Hornby, in all caps there. So again, showing the love there. Ben Davis says, can't wait to see the Terrier in number 13, Carisbrooke in malachite green with the British Railways lettering. So that's one of those future variations.
It is indeed. And of course, we've got all the future variations available to pre-order now as well.
We've got Scottish Steam Productions says, are either of these Terriers preserved?
Now, not as far as I'm aware, actually. No, certainly not in these liveries, but there are 10 preserved. As said, there are similar locomotives to number 10. There's number 8 Freshwater and number 11 Newport preserved on the Isle of Wight. And of course, in the London Brighton South Coast Railway livery, you've got Box Hill in the National Railway Museum, you have Stepney at the Bluebell Railway, and a little bit of a different one, you've also got Wadden, which is based in the Canadian Railway Museum.
Oh, wow, okay.
As well. So one of them has managed to escape the UK and head on a little bit of a holiday. So if you're in the US or Canada and fancy seeing one of these, there's one a little bit closer than you think.
So even an option if you want to run it on a Canadian HO gauge layout as well. We've got Upwell and Onwards says, got a Love a Terrier, and the Isle of Wight Green Terrier would greatly suit his Isle of Wight Adams O2 tanks. Ono Mulder says, awesome Terriers. 700 Shunter says, will Hornby produce a Terrier in LB SER Umber livery at any point?
It's not something they've announced currently, but as we touched on before, there are so many liveries that these Terriers carried. Hornby, even though they've produced about 8 or 9 now, still not really scratched the surface with these locomotives. There's huge amounts left to cover. You have the Isle of Wight Central Railway, the London South Western Railway, various private owners. The Great Western Railway had one as well that they inherited. The East Kent Railway, Kent and East Sussex. There's so much more to tell on this Terrier story yet. But at the same time, there's some fantastic liveries out there now. So if your chosen one isn't out there, have a look at what we've got. You might not be able to resist, but at the same time, we really do reckon you'll start seeing some of the other colour schemes coming through too.
Plenty to come. We've got Ruben Master Builder says, wow, they look so good, so well detailed. I know some people who have one and they really love it, so I think might have to get one. And how much? So these are for £81. You can check them out on the website right now. We've got James Akers says, never seen a layout which models the London and Brighton Improved Green era. Would like to see Leadenhall, Stepney and other Hornby Centenary Terrier all on a layout together. Maybe that's something we'll see.
Sounds like a really good idea, that sort of 1880s, 1890s grimy London terminus with a couple of these, maybe some slightly larger locos, a few of our forthcoming Genesis coaches in the London Brighton Mahogany as well. Sounds like you've got a little bit of a plan there, so when you've built it, let us know.
That's it. Yeah, grimy London terminus, but with an explosion of colour in the midst of it with all these lovely locos. Upwell and Onwards says, one theory for the improved engine green was a hint of Stroudley's passed on the Highland Railway, so that's another interesting theory.
That's another theory, yeah, a good one there.
Ono Mulder asks if the Terrier's digital. Yeah, they're fully digital capable.
6-pin decoder socket in there, really easy to get inside them as well. If you are thinking of fitting one with digital, there's a video on our YouTube channel as well where I take one of the earlier releases apart and fit a decoder in there. It's as easy as I make it look. So if you're thinking of fitting one up, check out that video on the channel and get yours ordered. It's really, there's nothing to it.
That's it. We've got Upwell and Onwards says, do they have removable coal loads?
They do indeed. You've got to go in and take the body off first and press it out. But it does come out there, whether you want to put in your own realistic coal or you want to have it in museum condition with no coal, it can come out.
Brilliant. We've got Bluegrass Rail Fan says first UK engaged steam engine he bought was a Terrier. Would like to pick up more when he gets a chance. John Lawless says would like to see one in the name of Fenchurch. Might be another one we'll see in the future. Richard Svidersky says we'll have to get one. Looks stunning. Lewis Taylor says love the improved engine green one. And then we've got Robert Scott Wyvern Muller Railway says he's got Stepney and Rolverden, so we'll be interested in Fenchurch as well.
I think Fenchurch is one of those ones that is preserved at the Bluebell Railway as well, and was actually fully rebuilt back into original condition. So even after over 140 years of history, we're still turning back the clock on the Terrier story, but keeping it modern as well. So
that's it.
It's amazing, really, that they've been around since 1872, and there's still more story to tell yet.
That's it.
So you can become part of the Terrier story. Click that link in the description and order yours.
The Terrier story will never end at this rate, I think. Right, we've got about 20 minutes left on the stream. We've got a few more topics to cover, so we'll shoot through a few more of the Hornby items you want to take a closer look at, and then we'll come back to the comments in a little while. So next up, one of the other items that people really wanted to take another look at was the Class 395 Javelin, which you can see on screen right now. So this is the latest version of the Javelin, which we haven't seen for a few years now. And this is a bit of a special one, really, isn't it? Because we're covering 395013. And this, as you can see, was actually named after the Hornby Visitor Centre in Margate, Kent. And that was named at last year's Ramsgate Depot Open Day in June.
Now, we covered a lot of the history of the Javelins and their introduction to the southeast of England in last week's episode, but a lot of you really wanted to take a closer look at this, see how it ran on our test track. We had a lot of questions regarding what curves it'll get through, how the lights work, etc. So as you can see on the screen here now, it's off round our track, and we really did put it through its paces there as well, as you can see. It's available as a 4-car set. The 2 expansion coaches to make it into the full 6-car set will be available towards the end of February and available to pre-order now as well. As you can see, it's got the full electrical couplings in the middle there too. It's got the directional lightings on the front, the posable pantograph, the intricate livery application, and these high-speed runners, you can see it there going through the second radius curves as well. So great at high speed, but also low speed as well.
That's it. It's a fantastic performer, this one. As you can see, it handles all those tighter curves with ease, easy through point work. And you can see from the detail, it is just a lovely model, this. You've got your posable pantograph on the roof there, and it really just has that centre speed of this incredible high-speed class. Yeah. Fantastic, very bright LED lighting on the front as well there, so it really does set it off wonderfully well. And as you can see on the screen, 5-pole motor there, full digital capability, so it's going to be able to handle anything. It is a fantastic model, this, and it's great to see it back in the range again after a few years' absence.
It is indeed, and of course it's available to order right now as well. If you click that link in the description, we've got this available for £144. It's 8-pin digital ready. It's got full digital capacity in there as well for speakers too. 5-pole motor, directional lighting in there. It really does come with all the mod cons you'd expect. But if we're sticking with blue, and if we're looking further at something else that people wanted to get a closer look at, this is still sticking with high speed, but on the west coast now. This is Hornby's Class 87, which again we put through the paces on our test track.
And this is another special one, really, isn't it? This is the first of the Class 87 class, 87001, with its dual names of Royal Scot and Stevenson. And this is as it is preserved today as part of the National Collection at the NRM. So you can actually go and see this in a museum, and you can have it exactly as it is now in model form too.
And of course it did run in this livery originally when it was built in the 1970s, but it was put in this particular variation in 2003, just before it was withdrawn to commemorate the class, to run with Virgin trains, so we couldn't resist the temptation to pair it up as it would have been seen a couple of years ago now, with a few Virgin trains Mark III's, the DVT on the back as well. So it's not only the loco that's available now, of course you can order that right away by clicking the link in the description. It's available for £154, but all the coaches you see there as well are available to order on our website too. So if you fancied setting up a Virgin trains operation, late 90s, early 2000s, we've got everything you need to get you started there.
You've almost brought a tear to my eye operating that, because that's my childhood right there, really, is that early Virgin red and black era, so it's lovely to see that. But if you are looking to run different eras of the 87, there are other variations in stock as well. We've got that original BR blue colour scheme available. There's intercity mainline livery there too. And we do also have Virgin trains red and black as well. So if you wanted to run a Virgin loco with some Virgin stock, you can do that. But of course, if you're looking for this really special version of 87001 here. You can't go wrong here. It's an absolutely wonderful model. You can see it on the desk in front of us here too. You've got your posable pantograph on there, well for detail, fantastic livery application. You've even got a really immense amount of cab detail in there as well. So it's a wonderful model, this one. And it's great to see it come back with this touch of something a little bit special. Yeah.
Now, last but not least, one item that we had on the table last week with myself and John, but everyone wanted to see running videos of it, is the W4 Peckett. This is the latest release in Port of London Authority livery. And of course, a locomotive this small, we do get quite a few questions as to how well it will run, how well it will work through points, the shunting capability, etc. But also some of the finer details. As you can see here, it really does live up to that hype. The full cab detail there as well, bringing that striking dark blue livery really to the fore.
That's it. It's incredible, really, the Peckett, for such a tiny locomotive to have such an incredible amount of detail. You can see there, even in the cab, it's got a wealth of separately fitted parts, all picked out in the right colours there. The beauty of these as well is they are such a solid performer, even over point work and on tight track work. There is no problem for these, thanks to that small chassis negotiating those curves. So it is perfect for those dockyard and shunting scenes on your layout, as you can see here, with some perfectly matching Port of London Authority wagons and a brake van there as well, so you can get some lovely shunting scenes or even a few trip working scenes with these locomotives as well. Full digital capability, as with the Terrier as well, really easy to fit that as well. Just lift off the body and away you go, really, and a couple of screws to undo. And this one, it really is a lovely intricate livery, this one.
It is.
In the PLA livery. And we do have a couple of other variations in stock now as well, covering the Lilies Holdco, and there is even more to come in the future. Again, it's the Peckett story continues to carry on with Hornby, with so many different variations coming out.
And this particular version is available to order right now for £90, with the Lillishall livery there as well too. The other variations are available to pre-order, and we really hope that we've answered quite a few questions with showing you the running there, as well as some real close-ups of the details too.
That's it. Right, we've got a few comments here about those last few, so really hope you enjoy getting to take a little closer look at those. We will also have other videos about them on our channel as well, so do stay subscribed, check out the channel, and there's plenty of other videos, not just about these, but all the latest releases we have coming through. We've got Ruben Master Builder says, love the Southeastern high-speed Javelin. Medway Peninsula Model Railway says his Javelin arrived yesterday, so thank you very much, Hattons.
Brilliant.
You're very welcome. Thanks for shopping with us. We've got Jeremy Olsenka says, love the Javelin. Joe Light Railway says the Javelin is favourite high-speed train because it comes from Japan, of course, and it goes nicely with the O-Series Shinkansen that he's got.
It does indeed.
Nice little A-train and Japanese high-speed collection going on there. Onto the 87, and we've got 45596 Bahamas says the 87 looks awesome. Clive Cobold says the Hornby 87s are great running locos. He's got 5 of them on his 1980s West Coast mainline layout.
Would love to see some pictures of that.
You'll have to send us some in. That's fantastic. That's totally my area as well. We've got Jeremy Olsenka says love the Virgin livery too. So you can get one of those as well if you like. We've got, for the Peckett, Ruben Master Builder says the Peckett is so cute. I totally agree. Absolutely dinky things. Bluegrass Rail Fan says, I imagine these can handle some pretty tight curves, and they can go down to anything, really.
Right down to radius 1, and to be honest, they go even further, really. It's just how tight you can get your flexible track, really, but really can get through some tight radius curves, just like the real locos.
That's it. It's totally prototypical, that, with that really tight 040 chassis on there. Yeah. And then we've got Upwell and Onwards says, love the W4, one of the coolest 040 tanks ever made, and such a universal loco for industrial or dockside use. And then we've got one more from Ben Davis who says, can't wait for the R3702 Daphne in Tiverington Stone Company Purple to come out. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that one coming out too, so we'll be sure to feature that when it releases too.
And of course, it's available to pre-order right now as well.
That's it. Now, we haven't had a real life story for a while, have we? So we thought, why not? Let's get one back on the go. And a really amazing story from this week is that the first Class 60 has actually gone into preservation now. And we've got some fantastic exclusive images here, and these are courtesy of Priest Abnormal Load Services, who very kindly sent this over to us. As you can see, 60086 there, looking a little bit worse for wear after being in long storage at Toten Yard since 2005, I believe now.
2005, yeah.
It's been sitting out there in the elements for quite some time, but as you can see, it's been whisked away to its new home on the Wensleydale Railway, who actually have a bit of an interesting link with this locomotive, don't they?
They do indeed. Right back in December 1992, this was the last locomotive to haul freight off the branch line. It's now a preserved railway up in the northeast of England, but back when it was in commercial use with British Rail, this was the last locomotive to leave with a full train of limestone at the end of 1992. So it's almost coming home in a way, but to see these locomotives enter preservation now really adds a new link to the Class 60 story. Quite a few of them are still in use, but at the same time these locomotives were developed right back in the 1980s as well, so they have earned the place in preservation now.
Absolutely.
To some people it might not seem 2 minutes since they were being built and in mainstream operation, but at the same time they've hauled a lot of heavy trains across the UK for over 30 years. They were one of the final diesel designs built for British Railways as well, built by British Railways, sorry, as part of the Brush contract as well. So introduced in that late 80s era, just a really iconic locomotive. And of course, there's some great models out there as well.
Totally. And we've got a few fantastic clips of those models running around. You can see two on the table in front of us. These are Hornby's super high detail Class 60s in 00. You got Colas and Load Haul there. And we've got some great shots of these two on the go on the test track as well. Now, there's been quite a lot of variations of these in stock in the past. And we do have quite a few variations in stock now, covering Load Haul, Colas Rail, DB Schenker to name but a few. And there are even more due in the future as well. Hornby announced a few as part of their 2020 catalogue, so you'll be able to get those at the latter part of this year. We do get quite a lot of these into our pre-owned department as well, so do keep an eye out there, and there's a few different liveries that come through. But as well, if you are looking for a model of 60086 in its current condition, let us know. We've got a form on our website that lets you contribute that to us and let us know that you'd like to see that in the future. So you never know, if it does get announced, we will then be able to let you know that that has come through. And of course, as you can see, these are solid performers, fantastic models running around there on the test track, and they are, as it says, absolutely ideal for anyone who's a heavyweight diesel fan. And of course, with the news that 086 has now entered preservation, it's a fantastic time to pick up a 60, as there's a new twist to the story really here.
There is indeed. The 60 story's still got a lot to tell, with about 20 of them remaining in service across the UK. But to see them commemorated in British Railway history as well now, possibly returning to some of those classic liveries too over time, as it's not actually just one, it's two.
Yeah.
There's been another one that's joined it pretty much over the last day or so as well. 60050 has also joined at the Wensleydale Railway, and we understand that both are to be restored fully to active service as well. They will need quite a bit of work to get going, but you can see them up there now. They are parked in the siding, having a bit of TLC applied to them as well. So if you're in the area, do hop by and have a look at them for yourselves. But it really is interesting that it's a first for these locomotives, and to see them commemorated in that way really shows what a classic, a modern classic they are.
Absolutely, and as you touched on, it might seem like to some people it was only 5 minutes that these were being introduced to service, but time passes by so fast, and in my opinion, I do believe we're entering into a bit of a new era for the preservation side of railways, with 260s going into preservation, and the Wensleydale Railway is also just taking possession of two Class 142 Pacers, which of course are still in operation out there on lines, but not for much longer. So it's strange to me to see those going into preservation as something that's always been there, but it will happen eventually. And it's just incredible to see some of these locos getting the sort of recognition that they deserve, really. So
a lot of modern classics now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we'll see plenty more as the years go on. So yeah, of course, you can pick up a model of the Class 60 if you like. Right now, there's plenty in stock, and you can also let us know if you'd like to see any more in the future as well. Right, we've got about 7 minutes left here on the stream, and we've got a lot of great questions and comments.
Brilliant.
So ready for a few quick fire ones, Dave?
Am I ever? Always ready for some good questions.
And
we always get good questions as well. Thank you very much, guys. I always look forward to this bit.
That's it. And as a few of you are new to the show today, feel free to leave any questions you like in the chat. Of course, if it's about a particular thing that we'll mention at the time, we'll try and get to it at the end of each section. But we do have time for some general questions at the end of the show as well. So do get those down there, and we give you a chance to test your knowledge. So we've got a few comments on the 60 there. We've got Bluegrass Railfan says that's some big power to make into preservation. I don't know if there's been too many 6-axles preserved in the States. Jeremy Olsenka says love the video clips, so thanks very much for that.
Thank you.
And 700 Johnson says a preservation layout is becoming really tempting. That's a great thing about this, is that it opens up a lot of options for people who might not be completely interested in some of the things that are in preservation now, and it's just expanding what is available in that
really
scene.
Good point there. And of course, going back to what Jeremy said there as well, if you're really enjoying the video clips and you can't wait until the next episode of Platform 1 for your next fix, do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We have even more than we show on Platform 1 on show there too.
That's it. Right, we've got Paul Dickinson asks, is there any updated news on the next batch of Class 66s from Hattons, as he's got one on pre-order?
All the latest news on the 66s is on our website. We have had a little bit of a QC issue on the most recent models there as well, but we're working on bringing them through. All the latest information is on there, so if you click through to our website, there's a page on the 66 with the whole detail on there. You've got the videos on the running, you've got the instruction manuals, and you've also got the latest dates for all the forthcoming releases as well. And we are still taking pre-orders on a lot of the models there. We are still sold out on some of the sound-fitted models at the moment, but we are taking pre-orders on the rest of the range there. So click through, every single question about the 66s is answered right there as well.
That's it. We've got Scottish Steam Productions asks, are there any new Andrew Barclays to come in the future? Now, we haven't got plans right at this second to produce any more Andrew Barclays, but you never know for the future. Pretty much the full range, bar 1 or 2, I believe, are still available to order right now, some of which are at bargain prices. You can pick them up from just £89. And both variations of the 14 and the 16-inch cylinders are available. Quite a lot of different colour schemes there to pick up, so there's a nice little range there. But if there are any that you particularly want to see, any particular liveries or any other variations of Andrew Barclay locomotives, let us know. Get in touch to our development team via ideas@hattons.co.uk. Leave us a comment on social media or even below, and that all gets passed on to the development team, so you never know what might be considered for the future. The Train Guy 6284 says he'd like to see more 00 gauge biomass wagons. Obviously the Drax ones, those are, aren't they, from that were produced by Hornby a little while ago.
We had some really limited stocks of those a couple of years ago now. Really iconic shaped wagons used across the north of England with Class 60s, Class 66s. They did sell like hotcakes at the time, and as we understand it at the moment, there's no plans to produce any more in the future. They do come through from time to time on our pre-owned section, so if you head over to our website and look at the listings for those wagons, you're looking for either R6723 or R6724, and you can sign up for the wish list there, and as soon as one comes into stock on our pre-owned department, or they're announced again as a new item that comes in through the catalogue as well, we will let you know.
You can occasionally pick up the Drax liveried 60s to go with them as well, so another link back to the 60s there as well. We've got Andy1962 says, bit late to the live stream today, but we'll catch up later. Of course, if you do miss out at the start, you can always watch on demand later as well.
Yeah.
He asks, will we be live streaming from Model Rail Scotland next Friday? Unfortunately, we won't be at Model Rail Scotland this year, but if you take a look on our website front page, our exhibition calendar is on there for the year, and we'll be at a few different shows, just not at Scotland this year, unfortunately.
But of course, we'll be right here on Platform 1 at the usual time next week as well.
That's it. We've also got Ben Davis on a similar question here about the Milton Keynes Model Railway show this week and whether we'll be there. We won't be there, unfortunately, but if you do take a look at the calendar, you can see where we are. So we'll be at Worley, Great Electric Train Show, Guildex, and the Alexandra Palace show as well. So
yes,
do you come and see us there? We'd love to meet you all.
Yeah.
Robot Monkey asks, what's the latest on Project Genesis?
Now, the latest, again, is a little bit ago we brought through some videos as well. We're still bringing those through for you with the different companies there, bringing through some of the history. The models themselves are continuing development behind the scenes at the moment, so a lot going on to really bring them through. We've had a lot of feedback to improve the designs. We've recently shown some of the colour layouts there as well, including the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway mahogany. So again, as soon as we've got more to show, we'll be sending that through to you as well. Whether you've placed a pre-order, whether you've signed up, whether you keep your eyes on the website, you will certainly see that coming through as and when it does.
That's it. And as we've touched on in other shows, development is really hotting up in 2024. The Genesis coaches ready for release in 2021, and we will be covering every step of the way in Platform 1 on our website, social media. So do stay posted, and we'll have lots more updates throughout the year. We've got Samson the Industrial Engine says, how quick is shipping to the United States for the new Hornby Terriers? Now, depending on the shipping option that you choose, it can be anything from a couple of days, really. There are some really fast shipping methods to the United States, and some quite economical ones as well. So if you add it to your basket on the website, you'll be generated a postage cost, and you can choose the different options there, and it gives you an estimate for delivery too. So check that out on there.
And of course, we really are proud of our shipping, not only in the UK but around the world as well. We send model railways pretty much everywhere on the globe, really. We've tried sending them a little bit further, but not with as much success, unfortunately. But
maybe in a few years.
If you are here on Earth with us, you know we can send model railways pretty much everywhere for a great cost and a great lead time as well. So do take a look. You can get the prices for the postage in your basket as well, wherever you are in the world.
That's it. Right, unfortunately, guys, I can see a few more great questions there, but we've just about run out of time for those today. Just want to say thank you very much to everyone for watching today and for all your fantastic questions there down in the chat.
Thank you.
We'll be back again next week on Friday the 21st of February from 1 to 2 p.m. GMT as normal. Everything that you've seen today, you can either order that right now or pre-order it on our website, and there's links for everything down in the description down there. And just thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. It's been another great week here. We've had something for everyone, I think.
I think so.
And really hope you've enjoyed it. If you've not subscribed already, please do so. And we will see you next week.
See you later.
Bye.